Good morning. It's Wednesday, September the 18th already. And for a lot of us, we've been getting together in person live every single Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. for the Rise and Lead Collective. And basically, what we do in these sessions is we talk about one new leadership topic and we dive into these topics of conversation. And there's always a tangible takeaway so that you're not spending time listening into something that isn't going to serve you in your own journey in leadership. And there's always an applicable lesson. So, welcome to today's session. This is the first one that I'm recording like completely live and from start to finish. And I have to apologize in advance. I've been battling a cold. I was away at a conference last week, getting a little bit sick. And now I'm just on the tail end of things. And so I apologize if I've got to take a sip of water or I'm a bit sniffly. I'm just dealing with a cold. So let's jump into today's topic. We're talking about staying curious a little bit longer and asking ourselves questions. Now, I know this sounds really basic. We've talked about this in a little bit of depth in previous weeks about looking outward for answers. And I want to dive into this just a little bit more because I think this is a concept that is really resonating with a lot of people. And so let's go a little bit deeper on this concept. In the Rise and Lead Collective, we typically focus on leadership development topics that would serve new and emerging leaders in sales, outside of sales. Everything is relatable to every single environment, regardless if you're leading an operations team, leading a sales team, you're not yet in leadership, but you'd like to be. This is the space for you. So hopefully you hang in there for the next few minutes as we go through this exercise. And as new leaders, our ego doesn't always serve us in the best way. It doesn't always allow ourselves to ask our own selves insightful questions, but it's not totally our fault. We've been conditioned over time to ask questions of other people because clearly they're the expert. And just a prime example, if we're not feeling well, we seek advice from the doctor. If we don't feel like we're eating properly, we seek advice from a nutritionist. If we don't feel comfortable in our bodies and our mobility is not great, we seek advice from a personal trainer. But oftentimes we have a lot of these answers within us, like we're very wise individuals, but we tend to want to seek the advice of other people. And that can be for various reasons. Maybe it's a confidence thing too, but we've been conditioned to really look outward for answers. And so today we're going to look inward for some of these leadership answer questions. And hopefully we come up with some really insightful answers. Now I'm going to lead you through 9 questions. I did not come up with these from a little book called Leadership Gold. And this is a little bit of an older book, but still the concepts and the learnings within this book are great. So let's dive into it. The quest for the right questions. The first person to ask should be ourselves. Question number 1, I'm going to walk you through these. And if you have a pen and a paper, great. But also, if you're just listening in, you can just think about some answers as they come to you. So, question number 1, am I investing in myself? This is a personal growth question. So, as leaders, we know it's important to invest time building our own capabilities so that we can transfer that to our teams. And in previous weeks, we talked about the law of the lid. And if you're not familiar with the law of the lid, I really encourage you to go Google it right now. And I think it'll really resonate with you. Question number 2, am I genuinely interested in others? This is a motive question. So if you think to yourself, why did I want to get into leadership or why do I want to get into leadership? Hopefully, the answer is that you are so interested in building other people. That is your motive for leadership. Question number 3, am I doing what I love and loving what I do? This is a passion question. And I feel like most of us get stuck on the passion question because oftentimes when we take a job or a career, it's a means to an end. I mean, we've got to make money, we've got to pay bills. And so, hey, yeah, Nicole, passion's all good, but essentially, here's what I got to do for my family. So I totally get it. But if we spend our days not really fulfilling ourselves, how are we going to lead others in fulfilling the mission for the organization that we serve. So if you're not in alignment, that energy, that passion, if that's dull, it'll be dull for other people that you lead. So, a tough question, but something we need to ask ourselves more often. Question number 4. Am I investing my time in the right people? Eesh, this is a relationship question. And too often we find ourselves hanging around the wrong people. And then we're wondering why things aren't getting better for us. But when we spend time with the wrong people, it doesn't really serve our growth as a leader. So we've got to look at our circle. And I think everyone's heard that saying that you become most like the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I don't think we look at this closely as it relates to leadership. Question number 5. Am I staying in my strength zone? Huh. This is an effectiveness question. Do I, number 1, know what my strengths are? 2, do I work on making those strengths better? Or am I just completely ignoring it and building on my weaknesses? The strength zone, do we know what we're really good at? Question number 6. Am I taking others to a higher level? This is a mission question. And this one is absolutely necessary, especially for new or emerging leaders, because we sometimes come into leadership going, okay, I'm the boss, I'm in charge, I'm going to change things up, make different rules, create different policies and processes, and just focus on change. When sometimes we're not even realizing that part of our role is to take care of others and to ensure that they're building upon their own skill set. And this can build the entire strength of the team. Question number 7. Am I taking care of today? This is a success question. And what this one really means is the secret of our success is determined by our daily agenda. And we've talked about this in previous weeks too, where if we go into every single day not really sure what we're tackling or what our mission is or what we're trying to achieve, we're simply just going through the motions. And it's really those consistent behaviors over time that really bring us the change that we're looking for. And that relates to everything, like in life and leadership. There's so much depth there. So, am I taking care of today? Question number 8. Am I taking time to think? Oh, that one hits you right here. Because this is a strategic leadership question. And if we don't have the space in our calendars every single week to think strategically about what we're trying to achieve or how we're going to get there, it can be very difficult to move the needle. There's a couple of extra questions within this section of, am I taking time to think? A couple extra questions in this section. Do I have a place to think? That's really important. Do I have a way to shape my thoughts? And do I have a specific process in developing thoughts and deepening my thoughts? And a lot of you are probably thinking about like meditation practices, and this is it. Or when people tell you that they spend their day, a portion of their morning, like meditating or doing mindfulness, sometimes people think, oh, that's a bunch of woo. But really, that is question number 8. Am I taking time to think? And the time to think might be the best time to do it is early in the morning before our day is progressing. Okay, another little question to ask. Do I have a team that stretches my thoughts? Mm. And do I have time to fly my thoughts? So do I have time to put this into practice or implement it and test my ideas? And do I have a place to land my thoughts? And if I start thinking innovatively, strategically, openly, does the person that I bring these thoughts to, are they going to land how they should? So that could be a senior leader or just an organization in general. How are they going to land? Okay, starting to lose my voice here. Question number 9. Hmm. Am I developing other leaders? This is a legacy question. I love that it's a legacy question because when we fall into a leadership role, or when we're not falling into a leadership role, or when we acquire a leadership role, one of the things that we don't realize is that we are leaving a legacy, because so many people that we work with will have stories about us. Hopefully, those stories are fulfilling to those people. And when we begin to have followers, we begin to lead a legacy. And are we developing other leaders? Are we making it our mission to find those folks that are on our teams that are going to be really successful when we teach them how to do what we do? And so those are the 9 questions I have for you to ask yourselves this morning. So before looking outward, before seeking mentorship or seeking a coach, because oftentimes we think, oh, I'm a new leader, I need some help. And before you even seek help, these are some of the questions that are really important to ask ourselves as we're going through our leadership journeys. So that wraps up our time today. We're at the 12-minute mark. I thank you so much if you've lasted this long, thank you so much for taking the time to listen in and be present this morning and asking ourselves these questions. January 9th, I'm starting a brand new program, and we meet in the evenings for just a little bit of time. And it's called Developing the Leader Within You. And it's a group of really passionate, new and emerging leaders in any space. And we're getting together for a few weeks to go through some of these leadership concepts in more depth. And there'll be more takeaways, more practice, more collaboration. And I'm really looking forward to hosting that. I hope you'll join. The information is on my website for you to join us. Super economical. I made it super affordable so that anyone can participate and get a lot of value. So I hope you have an amazing rest of your Wednesday, and I'll see you again next week.